Is it weird to feel good about losses? Sports Talk Chicago. Here with Jon Zaghloul. In this video, we're going to break down the Bears-Vikings game on Sunday and explain why the Bears had a very good game, even though they lost. New to the channel, subscribe, set up notifications, hit that like button so you don't miss a thing. Talk Chicago Sports Daily. We have interviews, too, with former Bears players and media members who cover the Chicago Bears and all of Chicago's sports teams. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports, Facebook Jon Zaghloul. Want to watch more of this show? Head on over to sportstalkchicago.com. Want to start today with this. I hate moral victories. Can't stand them, don't like them, losing mentality most of the time that comes with them. You're not a winning team searching for a moral victory. You're searching for a real win. You're searching to be better than your opponent. You're searching for a playoff appearance, a Super Bowl appearance, a Super Bowl win. You're not searching for a moral victory, a feel-good loss. In the Bears' case, though, with a second-year quarterback, a new head coach, a new GM, a crappy roster, and the expectation of a rebuild, you kind of need moral victories. They're not my preference. I wouldn't coach a team in order to get moral victories, but in the Bears' case, considering their situation, you'll take anything you could get. You really will. Maybe I've been too harsh. What they've done so far, maybe I haven't been as accommodating to the situation. But I'll tell you what, yesterday proved to me that this Bears team has some potential moving forward. Say this too, this is going to sound bold, but it's really the truth. This was the best game the Bears played all year. This is better than any win they had. This was a better game than any win the Bears had so far this year. And it was a loss to the Vikings, a division rival. We should be laying into them. We should be mad about this. But I'll tell you what, best game they played all year. Now, why is that? Probably saying, John, what the hell are you talking about? Well, how about this? Justin Fields went 15 of 21 for 208 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. 118.8 passer rating, the first ever 100-plus passer rating for a Bears quarterback since Mitch Trubisky in 2020 against Houston. That happened on Sunday. Fields also ran for 47 yards, averaging 6 on the ground. David Montgomery had some good receiving yards, him with Darnell Mooney, and even Cole Kmet put up 45. This was the best game the Bears have ever had all season. Now, granted, that first half was atrocious. 21-10, it was 21-3 at one point, but look at that final score, 29-22. Talk about fight, talk about effort, talk about playing hard till the whistle blows. Talk about taking pride in your play, playing hard for your new coach, your new GM, your new organization. This is what I mean by moral victory, and I don't like them. I don't advocate for them, but bear with me here. All things that we saw yesterday pointed towards a brighter future for this team. Can't argue it. It's the truth. Pretty much everything we saw pointed towards something good, something better to come. Really, it did. We saw Justin Fields say after the game he's felt the most comfortable he ever has in the pocket. Saw the Bears protect him a little bit better. Saw Fields move when he needed to. Saw Darnell Mooney make the catch of the season. Saw the defense step up in the second half to limit the Vikings to only 7 points. We saw a lot of good things yesterday. Enough to say this was a quality game. And I'll tell you, I did not expect the Bears to win. I picked them to lose. We expected a loss here. This wasn't a game that the Bears gave away, although that fumble was inexcusable in the fourth quarter. The Bears could have tied it, maybe won. I don't know. I think that was wrong. But I wasn't as mad about that as I was about the rest of the game and all the positives that came along with it. This Bears team was not expected to win. If you thought they were going to win, you're crazy. They're facing the Vikings. Kirk Cousins broke a completions record. Kirk Cousins! That's horrible. And yet, the Bears played hard to the final snap and were in it until a minute left to go. Surprising, to say the least. Encouraging. But you knew they weren't going to win. Dalvin Cook, Madison, Thielen receiving, Kirk Cousins throwing and making completions even though he had that pick. Decent defense for the Vikings. I mean, you knew they weren't going to win the Bears. You knew it. But they played like they could have. And they were almost right there to win it. They could have. Stupid fumble, stupid play, but it was close. Dante Pettis needs to be cut immediately. There is no exception for the continuous drops and issues we saw yesterday from him. Sam Mustipher cannot be the center anymore. Just can't. I mean, you're snapping a ball that caused a fumble that almost turned the tides completely on the game. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Obviously, there needs to be a change there. And Smith-Marsette needs to get out of bounds. What are you doing? I know you want extra yards, but get out of bounds. You have time. And you lost the football. It was yanked out of your hands. Looked like a rag doll. I mean, it was just, bam, yanked out of his hands. It looked horrible. And it was a stupid play. Reminded me a lot of Marion Barber. Remember? Remember that play in 2012, baby? Same idea there, to an extent. It was aggravating to see that happen, to see the game end the way it did, but the rest of it was encouraging. What's the point of this season? It's developing Justin Fields. It's trying to see whether or not he's the guy. Now, I'll tell you what. If that catch to Mooney was not made, Fields would have had much less yards, maybe a lower rating, but the fact is, here's what I loved. No picks, no turnovers. He did fumble the football, but recovered it. 15 of 21. Accurate for the most part. 200 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Fine by me. These are the same standards we held Mitch Trubisky to in his second year, even in his third and fourth year. We have to hold Fields to the same ones. And that's completely fine by me. I'll take that all day long. The Bears now are 2-3. They've got the Commanders this week. I think they could easily win that game, even on Thursday night. They could be at 3-3 through 6 games with a second-year quarterback, a first-year head coach, a first-year GM, and a mish-mosh roster. A random roster filled with nobodies for the most part. Imagine if Justin Fields actually had a little bit of weaponry around him. I just want to see more of this. This is completely different than what we saw last week or the week before. So yes, I'm going to praise Justin Fields for what he did. A lot of people told me I'm switching the narrative. That's not what I'm doing. I said from the very beginning, if Justin Fields actually succeeds, I'll be the first one cheering him on because we need to see a real quarterback here in Chicago. Hey, I'm just as sick as you of watching these crappy-ass quarterbacks go out for the Bears and trying and struggle to put up 200 yards when other quarterbacks do it with these every single game. Even Kirk Cousins did it. He does it all the time. I'm sick of that too. I want to see Fields succeed, and he did for the most part yesterday. Don't know, Mooney might have bailed him out there, but that's what your wide receiver one has to do sometimes. Allen Robinson did that for Mitch Trubisky. That was Mitch Trubisky's safety blanket, right? Same thing with Mooney, it looks like, and Justin Fields. Now you want the Bears' defense, though, has to be better. Did good in the second half, but you can't have Kirk Cousins start the game with 17 straight completions. Kirk Cousins, not Tom Brady or, I don't know, Jalen Hurts. I mean, somebody actually really, really good, elite. No, you're letting Kirk Cousins start the game like that. I mean, that's horrendous. Needs to be stopped, gotta be better. As I predicted, the rushing attack was there. Dalvin Cook, 94 yards, 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. And the Bears all year have had troubles containing the run. You have to try to contain it. And then Justin Jefferson went crazy. 154 yards. No touchdowns, but still. So the defense really was not there. It was there when it mattered a bit in the second half, but it never would have been there. And that hole never would have been there. The Bears played like that all game. The Bears have to find a way to play well for 60 minutes, not 30. And that's what I challenge them to do moving forward. You've gotten all the hiccups out of the way. Those first 4 games were ugly. You played a decent game. This is, again, the best game the Bears have played all year. Build off this. You've done it for 30 minutes. Do it for 60. That's what's going to separate you from an elite team. Elite teams can play for 60 minutes on. They're on. The switch is flipped. They're doing well. The mediocre teams do it for 30 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes. The Bears need to do this for 60 minutes, and that's going to be their goal. That's what they're going to be working toward throughout the rest of the season. It's not going to come next week. It's not going to come in a couple of weeks. By the end of the year, the Bears have to understand, how do we play elite for 60 minutes in one game? That's what I challenge the Bears to do moving forward. How can I be an elite team for every snap, every second, every play, every minute? How do I do it? That's what the Bears have to do moving forward. They've mastered somewhat playing at all elite for 10, 15 minutes. That's great. 30 minutes. Now you got to do it for 60. We need to see more growth out of Justin Fields, but I loved what I saw on Sunday too. This is not switching the narrative. This is not backsliding, going back and forth. This is evaluation, right? That's the point of this season, evaluation. Of course, I've been hard on Justin Fields. Everybody has, because he sucked. No doubt about it. He sucked the past couple of weeks, but this week, amazing. I'll take 120 passer rating all day long. I'll take no picks. I'll take 200 yards. I'll take 15 of 21 all day. Do it again. Do it every single week. Then there's going to be nothing to complain about. Justin said he felt more comfortable. Keep it going. Come on. This is how you're going to win the job. This is how you're going to stay in Chicago and be a legitimate contributor moving forward. This is how you're going to do it. Do it again next week. Got Commanders, short week. You should be able to carve them up and do the same exact thing. 200 yards, 1 or 2 touchdowns, no picks, hold on to the football. Perfect. I'll take it all day. This is how it has to be. I ask all of you, just be fair in your evaluation of everybody. We all know that there could be favorites, but be fair in your evaluation. And this is why, at times, we all have trouble evaluating and understanding talent. Everybody has a favorite, and everybody has a scapegoat. Everybody hates somebody. Everybody loves somebody. How about we evaluate based on merit and talent? Yes, I was pretty hard on Justin Fields, and I still will be if he continues to play like he did in the first 4 weeks. But if he does what he did yesterday for the rest of the year, I won't have a complaint. Because he's proving that he deserves to be there. He's proving that he's good enough. And he's proving that he can hold on to the football, throw for 200 yards, throw for a touchdown. Be accurate. Lead a team late in the game. He had the Bears leading and going downfield on that last drive if it wasn't for the fumble. I'm not going to criticize him if he continues on that path, but if he reverts backwards, if he makes silly mistakes, yes, I'm going to be all over him. It's the same idea with anybody on this team. Sam Mustipher snapping the ball and causing a fumble for no reason shows me shouldn't be at center anymore, right? Should be benched. Pettis should be benched. Should be cut. This is how it has to work. So that's my message to all of you. Look for the positives, but evaluate fairly. Critique fairly. Don't critique with emotion. You could argue that I have, but I really haven't. I have not critiqued with emotion whatsoever. All of this has been factual, based on statistics, based on what we saw. Justin Fields looked sharp yesterday. I hope it continues. But if it doesn't, I'll be right on his ass next week. I think, though, this was a huge learning experience for the Bears. This was their best game all season. It was. This was their best game they've had all year long. No doubt. Even better than the wins they've had, because the wins they've had have been cheesy, right? They beat the 49ers in a rain game. They beat the Texans because Davis Mills screwed up. All the games they've won have been cheap. They've been cheesy. The games they lost haven't been too pretty either. This was the best game they played all year. I would tell everybody that. It's the best they played all year. So as I said to open up this show, I am not a moral victory guy. I'm not all about, hey, it was a feel-good loss. No, it's all about end results. But in this case, for this Bears team, who's rebuilding, who's trying to evaluate a quarterback, who's trying to build up a morale and a culture that will sustain success moving forward, this was the best game they played all year. I loved it. I loved the fight. I loved the energy. I loved coming back from 21-3, making it 21-19, and being in this game. Keep that in mind. It was so encouraging and just fun to see and watch. Fun to watch a competitive game. Fun to watch the Bears be in it till the last whistle. And moving forward, I would hope this attitude continues and this mindset continues and this performance continues for everybody involved. But that said, great game, great effort, great performance, and yes, best game of the Bears season and the best game of Justin Fields' season by far. Thanks for watching today's show here at BPON TV, channel 59.3 in Roku. Really appreciate the time. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Jon Z Sports, Facebook, Jon Zaghloul. Want to watch more of this show? Head on over to sportstalkchicago.com. So long, everyone.